There are more content houses than there are words in the English dictionary. Every person online is convinced they're a special little snowflake, and the only thing that's better than making their own content is making the exact same content, but with a bunch of people like them. Probably the most lucrative business practice of the 21st century. It's a silly little dream of making content with a bunch of other creators at the expense of living with a bunch of crazy people inside a big-ass mansion. Just because these creators are performing the same business practice does not mean they're going to be compatible from a social perspective. It's like going to work and having to deal with an insufferable colleague, but you don't even get the pleasure of going home at the end of the day. So when you combine this with a bunch of individuals expected to film content under the same brand, what you get are some of the most atrocious content houses ever produced. And today, I'm going to talk about what I believe has to be the worst content house ever. This is the newest content house in the neighborhood, and it fits more in line with something on Pornhub. So, as I'm sure many of y'all can tell, the Bop House is a content house dedicated to OnlyFans models. I'm not sure if they thought they were being original or not, but this is nothing more than a modern-day Playboy Mansion. If the Playboy Mansion was also posting content kids have access to. Outside this ambitious idea, I guess, I have to wonder what exactly they have to gain from this. I'd understand if it was a joint OnlyFans account centered around making OnlyFans content, but the Bop House is just these OnlyFans models making crazy, bizarre content on TikTok in what I assume is an attempt to drive traction to their individual OnlyFans accounts. Now, this would be understandable if they were newcomers to the OnlyFans space, but that's far from the case. I'm not trying to give them free promotion or anything, but understand these creators are making substantially more than the average person working and are very prominent in the community. So, to go from prioritizing OnlyFans content to now posting on TikTok, there's no incentive. The people watching on TikTok already know who they are and are probably subscribed already, or aforementioned, too young to subscribe because you're promoting adult content on a site that is mainly used by kids. No adult is going to be browsing on TikTok and then talk to their buddies like, so, what did you guys think of that OnlyFans model's latest TikTok video? But hey, I'm not one to judge the level of quality based on a person's occupation. You know, maybe the content is worth starting a new brand.
Pop it. Twist it. Pull it. Pop it. Pop it. Pop it. Pull it. Twist it.
This is the level of quality you should expect from the Bop House. I'm not trying to shame OnlyFans models or anything, but there was about as much effort put into this as Sony put into Madam Web. The difference in the amount of talent it takes posting on TikTok compared to OnlyFans is more noticeable than you think. You know, just because you can flaunt it on OnlyFans doesn't mean it'll receive the same level of attention when posted on TikTok, especially when that flaunting comes with heavier restrictions. Looks are viable, sure, but because you've got guidelines now that you need to uphold, you need to emphasize more on other qualities, such as personality, which these creators don't have. So the Bop House contains 8 OnlyFans models as of right now, and I'm not going to name drop them all because I'd really rather drive as minimal attraction to this as possible. However, I am going to talk about 2 creators who act as the front man and subsequently are the most controversial members of the Bop House. The first notable member is Sophie Rain, who's basically the final boss of OnlyFans. The reason why she's called this is because she's one of the highest paid models on the platform. She made over $40 million alone in 2024, which is more than what some of the highest paid athletes make. Like, the average person could work their whole life and not even come close to earning what she's made simply by selling explicit pics of herself. Now, it's not her net worth that makes her controversial in the online hypnosphere. Jealousy isn't a reason to be canceled. It's actually the crazy claims she's made about being a devout Christian and still a virgin, despite posting content on OnlyFans.
You're saying you're a virgin, and I'm wondering if that becomes a draw for a lot of men who are
signing up for this. I'm sure it does. I Not a lot of people online claim that they're virgin. I think that it's really awesome that I still am, and that I can show other people that you can still make this much money and be a virgin and don't have to give yourself up to everyone and on the, website, on OnlyFans and all that stuff.
That's a wild claim to make and publicize online. I'm not calling bullshit or anything, but I have to call attention to this. More often than not, creators will do anything to promote themselves if it means driving more attraction to their content. Obviously, there are going to be people who are into the idea that this creator is pure, but that doesn't mean it's true. I can't validate what doesn't get published, nor do I want to buy every last bit of her content to try and verify it. I'm just pointing out that you shouldn't just take them blindly for their word, as more often than not, it's nothing but a publicity stunt. A great example of this is with Belle Delphine, who fabricated this lie about not seeing anyone and also never been with anyone, when in reality, she was in a relationship throughout her entire YouTube career. She was able to conjure an audience under the assumption that she was single, who eventually followed her over when she started making content on OnlyFans. So while there is no way to verify if Sophie Rain is actually a virgin or not, like myself, there are many people who are skeptical because it's not an uncommon marketing tactic used in the creator space, and also because she's making the claim while posting on OnlyFans. I don't know how there are people who just take this at face value. I mean, it's not like OnlyFans is known for having a variety of saints posting daily Bible studies. Now, the second frontman to the Bop House is one I'm sure all of y'all are at least pseudo-familiar with. And unlike Sophie Rain, there's no questioning the legitimacy of her controversy. Camilla Oralo is an OnlyFans creator who is most known for using her younger brother to promote her content. That's not hearsay or anything, that is a legitimate fact.
How does it feel to have a sister that has an OF?
My friends always ask me if it's pink, but I don't really know what they mean by that.
NANI?
Do you know?
Jesus Christ. Click the link in my bio. I can't.
That's creepy. So, for those of you who don't know, Camilla got her start when she appeared in the MrBeast Squid Game video. She didn't have a significant role or anything, she was just a competitor like any other. However, a bunch of gooners who watched the video started Googling her, hoping she had an OnlyFans account, to which she blew up to such a degree because of it that she answered their prayers and made one. It's just a sad look at this generation. I'll give her props for capitalizing on her 15 minutes of fame and becoming the top 0.1% of OnlyFans creators, but now she's dedicated all her other platforms to promoting her OnlyFans. Her Instagram and TikTok, which were once so wholesome, are now just clips and pics trying to get people to buy her OnlyFans content, which, aforementioned, a large quantity of them involve using her younger brother, a child, to promote it.
I don't know why you're so set on going to college. Just don't, be an entrepreneur like me and be successful that way.
Entrepreneur? You only that's not being an entrepreneur.
Yes, it is. It's a business.
You sell pictures of yourself online. That's not being an entrepreneur.
Okay, well, if you think I'm not an entrepreneur, let's go band for band.
It's disturbing to say the least, and luckily this feeling is shared by the majority of people. However, it's also proven to be a successful marketing tactic for her because she's making bank. She's been doing this for at least a year, and her OnlyFans must still be popping if she's become the face for the Bop House. So, I don't know what kind of audience she's maintained over the last year or so, but I assume they're probably as disturbing as she is. So the Bop House has almost 2 million followers on TikTok as of me recording this, and they've announced they're looking to recruit more members. This, in turn, has led to people actually auditioning on TikTok, trying to get into the Bop House. I remember a time where famous actors would have their audition tapes get released to the public, and everyone would laugh at how cringe they were, but at the same time admire how far they've come as a result of it. And now you've got shit like this. I'm sorry, but if you're trying to make a career by auditioning for the Bop House, then you need to seriously reevaluate your life choices. But that's not even the most disturbing part, because there are people actually recommending the Bop House should add Piper Rock Hill. I didn't know who that was until making this video, but she's apparently a YouTuber who grew up making vlogs, then TikToks, and is currently 17 years old. She submitted an audition tape a couple weeks ago despite being a minor. There are people in the comments section recommending a minor for the Bop House. So they denied her, obviously, but you have to remember, we live in a day and age where girls are going to want to grow up and be like Sophie Rain or Camilla Orlalo. It happened with Bad Baby the day she turned 18, and there was a whole subreddit dedicated to counting down the days until Millie Bobby Brown turned 18. It's just an awful thing to encourage, and that seems to be a side effect of the Bop House. I'm not out here trying to discourage content houses or anything, but I think there's a very clear correlation to their failures and subsequently the careers of many creators. There were some decent ones like FaZe or Click, but even still, those went under due to some kind of off-screen drama. Meanwhile, the Bop House already has a number of controversies a month in, and they're not going away anytime soon. So I am curious, what's going to be the breaking point of this group? My guess is some kind of Mean Girls drama where eventually one of them will expose another, which will collapse the entire operation. Who knows? I am down to be proven wrong though, but I believe this is still the worst content house ever made. So yeah, I just had to talk about this, and that's really about it. So